Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel in the first place. Today we have a Kirishima ex-listener. It's going to be a bit shorter. If you're in the live chat, be respectful to the moderators, and let's go ahead and get into it. Every time Kirishima asked Bakugo to help him study, there was some excuse to prevent him from going over to his house. It didn't make sense why he'd always insist on studying at some cafe, or at Kirishima's house, which he didn't mind, but it did strike him as odd. There was always something in the way. At least, he did until Bakugo apparently got himself grounded from leaving the house after a spat with his mom, and he finally allowed Kirishima to come over with a backpack full of textbooks. He rang the doorbell and the door slammed open, Bakugo's regular scowl ever so present on his face. "Hurry up and get in," he grinned at his friend, despite the obvious bad mood he seemed to be in, and stepped inside the house. It was a nice house, definitely nothing to be embarrassed about, so that couldn't be the reason why he didn't want to hang out there. "My dad's here, so keep your mouth shut." Hands shoved in his pockets, Bakugo led the way upstairs. Pictures littered the walls of the home, many of what Kirishima assumed were his parents when they were younger. Katsuki was practically a carbon copy of that woman, and a young Bakugo with someone around his age. Some photos where they were at each other's throats, and others displaying happy birthday parties as they grew older across the photos. Must be a cousin or something. Maybe he could ask Midoriya later. He doubted he could get anything out of Bakugo when he was like this. Time skip. "Is that your mom singing or something? Who is that?" He hoped not. It would be weird that he loved the voice that rang out. "No," a curt response. But Eijirou knew he shouldn't have expected anything different. "Dude, who is that then?" The scowl on Bakugo's face got tighter, angrier, but he didn't pay any mind to it. "My sibling." That definitely explained the pictures all over the walls. "Whoa, dude, why didn't you tell me you had a sibling?" "Why the hell would I?" he growled out, but Eijirou could only focus on the singing in the background. He couldn't help but wonder if your face fit your voice. The photos on the wall were old, and they definitely hadn't been added to in years. Katsuki must have noticed Eijirou's lack of focus as his brows pinched together. "Listener, shut the hell up!" his voice roared, and Kirishima could barely hold back the pout. Sure, he may have learned your name, but at the cost of silence, he didn't really know if it was worth it. "Piss off, you never shut up when my friends are here." That same voice that had been so melodious just a few seconds ago snapped back, before quickly returning to the sweet song. Bakugo growled, teeth clenching as he stood up, ready to wreak havoc as he slammed his door open. "Katsuki, leave them alone or your mother will get mad when she gets home." A man, presumably Bakugo's dad, yelled from downstairs of the house, making the blonde stop in his tracks. With a livid look on his face, the blonde turned back, shut the door, and sat back down. "Don't fucking say anything," he hissed out, and Kirishima almost felt bad. The unveiled singer would probably get the screaming of a lifetime from Bakugo later, but judging from the smug tone drifting through the air, he didn't think they would care all that much. He nodded, trying his best to focus on his notes instead of imagining who could be behind the songs. The study sessions at Bakugo's house didn't stop there. Every Sunday, he would visit the Bakugo household, and each time he did, the same voice was still singing in the shower. It distracted him every time he heard it, always earning him a kick to the leg, generously given by Katsuki. It had gotten to the point where he'd pore over the textbooks on Saturday and actually study so he could keep up with his grades. And yet the late-night Saturdays spent studying seemed to be completely worth it in his eyes, except for today, when he woke up an hour late because he stayed up studying. Bakugo was gonna fucking kill him. He quickly slid on his shoes and grabbed the backpack sitting by the door of his room before bolting out. There wasn't time to change, not with Bakugo's temper. Maybe if he still showed up, then he would only get a loud scolding. His house wasn't all too far. He could make it there in 10 minutes if he ran fast enough. He panted as he neared the household. Hero training certainly helped with endurance, but He was still tiring to run long distances for anyone. A wince on his face as he rang the doorbell, preparing himself for the blonde boy's wrath. Kirishima wasn't on the guy's bad side too often. He just hoped he wouldn't be too loud this time. The door opened and he was wide-eyed. "Oh, are you here for Katsuki? I mean, good luck with him. He's in one of his moods." The same voice that he heard every weekend greeted him, the door widening to let him in. Quickly, he straightened himself up and mentally cursed himself for not getting ready before this. His hair wasn't gelled, soft and covering parts of his face. He was still in his sweatpants for goodness sake. "Sorry, I think I might be the reason for that." A sheepish smile on his face as he stepped inside the house, shutting the door behind him. "I wouldn't worry about it, it's normal for him anyways. He's up in his room." You laughed as you went upstairs, leaving him trailing behind you. Averting his eyes down, on the steps rather than looking at the figure in front of him. "So, Bakugo has never really mentioned you at school. Are you younger than him?" He tried to sound casual, but you two were already nearing the top of the stairs, and he wanted to talk to you so badly. "Well, we're actually fraternal twins, but I guess he's just too involved to mention me." You joked back, laughing once again as he clung to that sound. "Oh, that's cool. Do you have the same quirk?" He tried not to sound too excited, but the fact that you two were talking sent butterflies through his stomach. "No, I just have our mom's quirk, and he's got a mix of both of theirs. But hey, at least I age well." The snort that came out of your mouth had to be the cutest thing he'd ever heard. As the two of you finally neared Katsuki's room, he took a breath in. Time to shoot his shot. "I don't know, I think it's a cool quirk to have. You'd look just as pretty as you do now." God, he hoped you didn't think he was creepy, and he also hoped that Bakugo hadn't just heard him flirt with you. "Do you have a pen in that backpack?" His face fell as you completely ignored his flirting. Did he come off too strong, or did you just not like him? Regardless, he fumbled with the bag in his hand and pulled out a Sharpie. "Does this work?" A grin crept on your face. "Absolutely." His hand was taken into yours, and the marker was pressed into his skin, vaguely making out numbers. "In case you need someone better to hang out with, give me a call." His cheeks reddened at that, and he nodded quickly, your hand brushing his as you handed back the pen. "Have fun studying." Humming, you retreated back down the steps. A toothy grin on his face stayed all throughout the yelling he got from Katsuki. Alright, so that's the end of this one. I hope you enjoyed. If you're in the live chat, thank the moderators. This isn't my fanfic. The link will be in the description, as along with the music link, fanfic link, Discord link, and thumbnail art link. Anyways, go ahead and check those out. Anyways, I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, whatever, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye!